Hi everyone, it's Denise. This is Google Mini PD session number 2. So for anyone that missed or wasn't able to come and attend in person, here is just a little review or a recap of what you missed that day. We dug into Google Chrome. So we got a little deeper into the Chrome browser and what you could do and ways it can be helpful to you every day at school. So the first things we did is we just made sure everybody had an understanding of what the Chrome browser is. So the Chrome browser is another way or is just a way for you to access the internet. There's lots of browsers out there. If you're a Mac person, then Safari is probably your browser of choice. On Windows, there can be Chrome, there can be Firefox. Those are some of the most popular ones. Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, those are all internet browsers. But we're going to be talking about Chrome because Chrome is owned by Google, and it is my personal favorite just because of all the amazing things you can do within Chrome. So to get to Google Chrome, obviously you download Google Chrome, and it looks like this down here at the bottom, this little colorful rainbow circle. So when we open Chrome, if you are not signed in already, it'll take you to a screen that will ask you to sign in. So I highly suggest you sign in. I know I'm signed in over here because my little icon that shows my account is signed in. And for those at school, you're going to sign into Chrome just like you would sign into Google or sign into your computer. You're going to use your school email address and you're going to use your school password. So you sign into Chrome using your Google account, which is your school account. Once you are signed in, the amazing thing about Chrome is that it will sync. So any bookmarks, any apps, any extensions, anything we do when we're signed into Chrome on whether it's your Chromebook or your desktop computer, it will automatically sync with any other device that you log into Chrome on. So I could log out of this computer, go hop onto my Chromebook and sign in, and any of my extensions, any of my bookmarks, all my favorites are all going to be there. So that makes it a really, really cool thing because you don't have to keep looking things up, especially if you're using your Chromebook from your computer, or then you go home and use a personal device. So this works on any device that you log into Chrome on. So that's pretty fabulous. Okay, so a couple of things to know about Chrome. First of all, you can change what page is your default setting. So I like to have this Google thing pop up, so I start with Google. But there are other home pages that you can get to. So we're going to take a look at the Chrome settings. So over here on my right-hand side, you're going to see these 3 dots. So, and notice when I hover over it, it says Customize and Control Google Chrome. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to come down here and go to Settings. So when I go to Settings, it's going to open up my Chrome settings bar. So this is the settings page for Google Chrome. This is where you can go to change any of the default settings from how it looks to what is shared to your bookmarks, all that good stuff you can get to from settings. So a couple of things, we're not going to look at all of them, but a couple of the settings that I think it's important to learn is one is this one. It's the import bookmarks and settings. So by doing this, let's say you've always used Microsoft Explorer or Firefox, you've used another browser and you have all your bookmarks and all your stuff saved there and you want to transfer it over to Chrome. This is where you would go. So I'd click import bookmarks and settings. I choose which browser, internet browser, you want to transfer from. So if I used Microsoft Internet Explorer, I will choose that one. And then you can select which items you want to transfer over. So even if you have passwords saved under Internet Explorer, you can move those over as well. So that's very cool. So you check mark what you want to transfer, hit import, and it'll move all that stuff into Chrome for you. Definitely a great tool to use, especially if you're new to Chrome and you're moving things from one browser to another. The next one is our home button. So the home button is this, moving up here to my left-hand corner, is this little house. So that means whenever I click that house, it can take me to a predetermined set of pages, which is very cool. So you can always just go back to home. So this is where I turn that on and off. Where I go, notice mine is set to every time I hit home, it takes me back to Locust Grove's website. And I'll show you where we can change that down here. But this is where that is. Your bookmarks bar. So you can choose whether or not you want to have that visible on your screen or not. Right now, mine is not on there, but I can turn it on by clicking this slider button. And as you can see, there are all my bookmarks that just popped up. We're going to talk a little bit more about bookmarks later on, but just wanted to show you that you could turn your bookmarks bar on and off. You can change the fonts. You can change how large your page is. So if you have a smaller screen, you might want it to be zoomed in a little bit more. You can change which default search engine you use. Obviously, Google is my preference, but if you wanted to change that, you could. And down here, so this is on startup. So this is where you would go to turn on or off different pages that will automatically load when you click into Chrome for the first time or when you click the home button. So I have a couple of different ones where I do. You can add, if you wanted to, for example, make the Daily Roar your home page or the page that opens automatically when you hit Chrome. I could click on add a new page, and then I could paste the link of the Daily Roar into here and click add, and then every time I open Chrome, that would pop up. I have mine set to open a Google tab, and my other tab automatically opens this. It's called Start. It's a Chrome extension that kind of you can customize. I like to see my calendar and my news and all this stuff. I'll show you that in a second, but you can customize your Start page to be anything you want just by adding a new page and pasting the websites for those. There's other features under advanced, which you're welcome to look at. Most of the time, you don't really need to change any of these settings, but of course they're there in case you needed it. So that is settings for Google Chrome. Now we're going to look at bookmarks. So these are my bookmarks going across the top right here. Okay. You can make bookmarks anything you want just by, if I'm on a website, let's say I'm on, we'll make this one. So this is the school website. Let's say I wanted to make this a bookmark, which means I could just, it'll be a tab up here. I go to the website I want to bookmark, and I simply just click this star where it says bookmark this page, the little star, and this little box pops up. And then I can give it a name if I want, or I can keep the name that is the name of the page. And then I would hit done. And now it's going to add this bookmark. Now you might ask, where is it? I actually have too many bookmarks. It fills up my row. So I have to click on these three little arrows to see all the rest of my bookmarks. And you can see where it added the Locust Grove Elementary website down here at the bottom. Well, what if I don't like that? Okay, we all know our screens are not always that big. So they go from side to side. So I know my bookmarks don't fit up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit my bookmarks so that I can rearrange and pick and choose which bookmarks that I want to be shown at the top of here, because not everybody's screen necessarily is going to fit everything going across. So again, I'm going to come over here to the three dots to customize Chrome, and in the drop down, you will see an option for bookmarks. When this little pop out opens, you're going to see all my bookmarks, so I can get to my bookmarks this way also. But importantly, you're going to have this bookmark manager. So when I click on the bookmark manager, it'll take you to the screen that shows all my bookmarks. Now from here, this is where I can do a lot of organization. So I can make folders. So I can come over here and right click and create, where's my, oh, sorry, three dots over here. I can sort my bookmarks by name. I can add a new one, and I can add folders. So the folder will allow me to, let's say I want to organize all my library bookmarks in one spot. I can make library bookmarks folder. There it is. And then simply, it's also down here. And then I can simply start dragging things into the folder to kind of help organizing. And so that's just another way you can organize your bookmark. The thing that I use is I like to have certain ones going across the top of my screen because I use them all the time. So I don't want them at the end of the line. Like this Locust Grove website, I don't necessarily want it at the back because I might use it a lot. So I can take it and drag it up here. So, and by dragging it up in order, you'll notice now it shows at the top of my screen. So I can click and rearrange these any way that I want, any order that I want. If I wanted to get rid of one, then I can come over here and click on a bookmark and hit the three dots on the side, and you can see I have the option to delete a bookmark. So if it's something that I don't want anymore, I can simply delete it so that it comes off my list. And that is bookmarks. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is the Google Chrome Store and App Store. So first, a little confusion about apps. Chrome apps are basically bookmarks or links to websites. On a Windows or Mac PC, we really don't use apps quite so much because they just take us to the different websites that are part of it. But on a Chromebook, you would use apps as little shortcuts to get to specific things for students. So we have certain apps that are preloaded under Chromebooks, and I manage that. So it's just kind of, instead of a student having to go to a bookmark or open a web page, they can simply click from their Chromebook into the apps, and it'll take you right to a specific website or program that you want them to use. So we're going to focus more on extensions, because extensions are things that are added into Chrome that we use all the time. So extensions, for example, are always kind of hidden up here in this top right. So this are like all the extensions that I happen to use. I have a Bitmoji extension, so a lot of people ask me how I put my little Bitmoji picture into the different things I create. I use a Chrome extension for that. This one right here is Screencastify. That's how I'm making this screencast. So this is an extension in Chrome that I can use that lets me record my screen so I can make these videos for you. I have a color picker one, which lets me pick out colors. So when I'm doing graphics, that helps me define specific colors. I have a save to drive. I have a audio player thing. So I have lots of extensions that I use that come in really handy. And there's also lots of extensions that you might find useful for yourself or your students to have on their Chromebooks as well. So to get to adding extensions, we're going to go over here to, actually, let's look and play for extensions first. So we're going to go to the Chrome Web Store is the place that we are going to go to. I just typed in Chrome Web Store as a search, and notice this is the first one that pops up. So when I go to this website, it'll take me to the Chrome Web Store. Here we go. So notice I have an option to search for extensions or themes. If I was on a Chromebook, I would also have the option to search for apps. But because I am not on a Chromebook, I am on a Windows computer, I can only search for extensions or themes. Themes is just how you want your Chrome to look. So again, it's more ways to have backgrounds and customize it. And these are kind of cool, but there's really not a whole lot of, it's just fun. Not really like useful tools. But extensions are awesome. So you can search for extensions by all sorts of categories. So let's say, we'll look for some Google extensions, for example. All right, so these are awesome things that work with Google and can be very handy throughout your day. So here's that color enhancer thing that I use. Let's see, Santa Tracker. So for all my friends out there with little kids, this could be a fun one for the kids. Google Translate, which translates documents in and out. Oh my goodness, all sorts of fun stuff. And the cool thing about the Google extension store is I'm constantly, every time I pop in here, I see new ones. So they're constantly getting new ones added, and new ones to try. At Locust Grove or in Elton County, you guys are free to add whatever extensions you want. So there's no restrictions on these. And a lot of times when I'm looking for, let's say I want, I'm looking for some good speech tools. Whoops. Okay. There's some new text-to-speech functionality. There's translators. So there's all sorts of different ones to try. If you wanted to add one, you simply hit this Add to Chrome, and this box will pop up and say Add Translator. You can add your extension, and it gets added up here to Chrome. I usually, when I'm trying to find new ones, I will add, you'll find more than one for each kind of extension. There's tons of them out there. I will add 2 or 3 at a time and then just try them all. You never know what you're going to like, and if you don't like it, you can always delete it. It's not a big deal. So don't be afraid to get in there and just try different extensions, see what works for you, see which ones you might use. My word of advice for extensions is, if there's something that you wish you could do in Chrome, like, have you ever been, man, I wish I could just save this website really easily, or man, I wish I could turn this page into a PDF, or man, I wish I could do this, then check the Google Web Store, because chances are, more than likely, that somebody else has had that same thought as you and somebody's created an extension for that. I have just about found extensions for anything that I wish I could do. And it's one of those things that we could spend an entire hour just going through this, but it's honestly more enjoyable just to spend some time, especially over fall break or whenever you're watching this video, and just explore, have some fun, and try out different things, and just look, because it's just, you know, there's all sorts of cool things out there, and it's just fun to kind of look around. All right, so we're going to kind of move past this. Let's say what happens when I have an extension, but I decide I don't want it. Or how do I manage all the extensions? I forgot which ones I have. So to get to that, we're going to go again to our Chrome settings. So right-hand side, 3 dots. And if I go down here to more tools, you're going to see an option for extensions. When I click extensions, it's going to open up the extension manager. So for example, these are all the different extensions that I have installed right now. And in this extension manager, you can see I can turn them on and off. So you can turn it off, but not necessarily delete it. So by turning it off, it disappears from my extension toolbar up here, but it doesn't delete it from my computer. So I can always still turn it back on again. If I want it to be gone completely, I tried it, I didn't like it, it doesn't work, and I want to delete it, then I can come over here and just hit remove, and it'll disappear, as simple as that. So not a problem at all. So some of them are kind of fun to take in and out. But you are welcome to add as many as you want, remove what you want, try them out. And this is where you will manage your extensions. All right, everything else in Chrome is pretty much just a regular search page. So we've talked about how we signed into Google. We've talked about how you can make your bookmarks and customize them, how you can add extensions and what they can do, and how to customize your start pages. Once you're in Google and you're signed in, don't forget you still have access to your G Suite up here. So anytime you're on the Google homepage and you're signed in, you can easily access the different Google G Suite apps that we have. So lots of cool things in there. And if you haven't had a chance to explore everything in G Suite, I suggest you take some time and do that as well. All right, that wraps it up for this edition of Mini Google PD session number 2. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you get a chance to play around with Google Chrome and see all what it can do for you. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.